Pasha Paro, YNet7. Thank you for tuning. I'm going to make this real quick. I got something to do, but I wanted to bring you this information so you could be prepared for the start of tomorrow. All right, it's Sunday, the 3rd, April 2022, okay? So what I want you to take a look at is, as you can see by the title, this is relative to dark pulse. You know me, I don't tell you how to play your game. If you in and out, I just kind of give you the information that will help you be in and out at the right time per my perspective for your entertainment purposes only. I'm not any of those professional titles. This is just for your entertainment, okay? But as you know, my stance is long term. This is going to be a huge opportunity if you're in now. So let's take a look at this real quick. So here's the chart, and what I want to go over with you is, because they just made a little announcement, which some of us were kind of knowing is heading to that direction, but I want to break this down to you real fast, so we won't be long today at all. Share this with your other people that you know are looking for the moment of moments of truth for this particular stock, and let's go for it. All right, so you gotta love a good chess move, and charging lanes is gonna be the buzzword. So of course, Dark Pulse can monitor the integrity of the underground network for the charging lanes, right? So, but think about it. See, I like to think beyond what they just, what people are saying to you and whatever. Sometimes, us Virgos, we get like that naturally. But here we go. Here's what I'm getting at. Think about it. All that technology used to have something we've covered, like their security defense perimeter setup, right? Or applications. So when you got that technology that you can bury something under the ground, it's designed to penetrate the ground above it, and in some cases below it, right? To pick up and monitor activity beyond the threshold of that surface, okay? Whether it's up or down. So what's the only attitude left for you to have if you're Dark Pulse? If you already know you can monitor the integrity of a charging lane network, why not just make the whole charging lane? I mean, you pretty much acquired a lot of companies over the last years that put you in a position where you could produce this and or work with partnerships to produce a whole network of charging lanes yourself. Okay, so I want you to pay attention to this opportunity on a long-term scale, and I think we're going with that on the table because they just submitted the trademarks for a charging lane, right? I think we're going to see some sort of pivot. Now today's the 3rd. I think we're going to see some sort of pivot around the 8th of this month. Okay. So that means it could you see where it's at right here, right? So it's been on a downward trend for however long that's been, right? I think it could either continue to go down, right? But when we get to the 8th, I think that'll be the rebound point. Or on the flip side, we could see a nice surge this week, like starting tomorrow. So if you're in it, hang on. Maybe dump some more into it for your entertainment purposes. And if you're not in it, this would be a good time to get in it and catch this wave up. Whether it rides up all this week and then pivots on the 8th, or you get in while it's low and then it bounces up on the 8th that way. So and with next Friday, or with the 8th being a Friday, I think that, based on the stock's history, that's definitely the right timing for the stock. Now, long term, real quick, long term, when you look at the long-term trend, okay, I want you to be aware that where it's at right now, it 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 could go as low as 1.7 cents. Okay, don't fear the roller coaster at this point. Some people are waiting around looking for a time to buy in, and if this ain't the right time for you and you can't weather that storm, if you buy in now and it drops to 1.7 or 2 cents while you wait for it to come back up. But if you don't buy in now and it takes off, you already know how the game goes, right? So it does have the potential to go to 1.7 cents. I don't see it dropping much lower than that, barring some catastrophic, whatever, right? And I think there's some profit to be made for those that are looking for profit. I think there's some profit to be made this week, all right? Like I just said. And then by the time it dips, you'll have a great attitude, right? Which means position. That depending on how you play your game, you can either be ready for it to go ahead and dip, and you'll be ready for the re-entry, or if you're like a stacker, it'll dip, and you'll be ready to compound, your holdings with what you got. I think 3.5 cents is a pronounced floor for the current moment. Okay, I think that's going to be the lowest we may see. So. But again, like I said, it could drop to 1.7 cents, but I think we're going to be firm at 3.5 cents as a low. In addition to that, on the bright side, right, we could easily see 9.1 cents next week, if not greater. So there's a weak area, as you can see here, right? I have it outlined in red. There's a weak area between 7.9 cents and 8.8 cents. Looking at where the stock has been recently, I think that's just because many are comfortable with taking profits at that region. So by the time they buy in and it hits that point, I think they're cashing out a little bit, and that's what causes it to, drop a little bit and then creates the panic and everybody just starts offloading. So expect some turbulence in the time and space between 7.9 and 8.8 cents. All right. Now, once we hit 9.6 cents, it has a good chance to go all the way to 11 cents prior to any potential stalling effects, okay? And we know how long term this stock is going to be huge. So we're talking pennies now. It almost doesn't matter where you get in if you're a long-term investor, okay? But this is kind of like where what I see, and I want you to hold me accountable for. Of course, this is entertainment, right? This is all, I'm not a professional, this is not advice, it's for your entertainment purposes only, but hold me accountable for my predictions. Let me know how this turns out. I'm normally pretty accurate with this sort of game, right? So now combine the intel, right, that we're bringing today, that you're getting today, with the surge that may be potential next week. But this will set them up for a great opportunity for, we talked about the infrastructure bill, right? And wow, partnerships with Tesla, subsidies, all kinds of stuff is really, really in their favor if they could pull off something like creating a charging lane system, and then they can mass produce it and, rebuild the whole grid for all those people that are either already have EVs like Tesla or Ford or whoever, and for the future push for everybody to be driving them shortly. So we know that's in place for 2030. We got less than 8 years now. So that's huge potential. And I just want to show you this quick video on a web page real quick in closing, and we could probably keep this under 10 minutes or 11 minutes total for you guys, and then we'll be out of here. Let me put this on the screen for you real quick.